Blessings upon blessings, everyone. Welcome to the Love on the Growth podcast with Dr. Shalonda Treasure. Welcome to today's episode. If you hear a lot of background noise, that's because we hanging out. We kind of in a restaurant sitting. Just did an awesome interview with my girl, my friend, my sister, Dr. Sarah Grace, here with my spiritual baby girl, my spiritual mini me. You know, y'all know I got a physical mini me and a spiritual mini me. She went to do her interview today, and so we hanging out. We in Tennessee, and so we're sitting in a restaurant about to, waiting for our food. Um, but I wanted to come on live just to give you this brief conversation for today. We're still talking about awakening the love self within, right? And so here's a random question for you to think about. Am I really ready for what I asked for? Am I really ready for what I asked for? Now, there's been this thing, Paul, the name Paul has been coming up a few times over the past few days. And any of us who grew up in a church system at all, or you have any religious background, and Paul is the man that had the Damascus Road experience. And that experience, I hear the laughter. Um, that man was on a journey. He was a devout Jew, which meant that he really believes wholeheartedly in following the laws of his Jewish culture. And he has this experience on the Damascus Road. Thank you. That he gets knocked off of his horse and he's blinded for this moment in time. But as I was looking at the name Paul, which means humble, I think there's another definition, but I saw that word humble. And his name was Saul before his name was changed. And the name Saul means asked for. Asked for. So when I ask you the question, are you really ready? Like, are you really know what you're asking for? What I'm saying is, at this point in your life, right before your name change, right before you get knocked off that horse, you get blinded, it's that point of, hey, my life is about to take on a new direction. And you're doing all that, oh God, I'm just so ready and cleanse my heart and I want more of you and show me you. And, we say all those things. But what happens when you do get knocked off this horse with blindness and the journey starts to tearing down the old system? Because again, Saul was a devout Jew, now about to be called to carry or to follow this different understanding, called to follow this new person, this new man that's about to give him some instructions. Well, now it's the Spirit of Christ, of course, that knocks him off. And you're about to have this whole new encounter. Now, we don't know what Saul was asking for before the fact. Maybe he wanted more of God. Maybe he said, I just want to see more of you. I want more of you. And now here comes this experience. Once your eyes have been opened, once once he got knocked off and then he was blinded or whatever, that's when technically his spiritual eyes were opening. Physical eyes went blind for a second, spiritual eyes were opening up. There's a whole new experience about to happen. Are you really ready for what you asked for? Saul means asked for. Paul means humble. Are you ready for this humbling experience to get to the truth of your name? Many of you know that I was named Treasure, back in 2007. And it's taken all the way up until around the past few years for me to really, really understand what the name entails, what it means, right? For every title and every job description as far as apostle and prophet and pastor and evangelist and coach and different things, All of these things I was named before I actually came into, I was named all of these things before I came into the fullness of that identity. Um, so this name change is coming, this experience where you're blinded to the old things and now you're spiritually awakened and you're seeing in a new way. Are you ready? And so the reason for this question is when you are talking about awakening the love self within, you're talking about awakening the God self, the God understanding of who you are. And when you're coming into discovering the fullness of who you are, what's at the core of you, there is a process that goes along with that. So while we are talking about awakening the love self within, we're talking about going on a journey to learn what love really is and what does that mean for us. Do you realize that that means as you are awakening to that love self within, that your perception of people are going to change? No longer are you going to be looking from the perspective of me. They did it to me. This happened to me. That's how that, God, you going to redeem me. You going, all this different stuff that we're talking. You begin to realize that, hey, the same individual or person or source that they are or you are, they are. Whole different view. So God ain't just sitting up here fighting for you because you're so divinely special, as if you're so much special than the next person. Oh, you're gonna get knocked off your horse plenty of times, thinking that somehow God is more in me than they are in the next person. You're on this experience to literally come into the realization that God, being omnipresent, is everywhere at once, which does not exclude us, but it includes every part of this creation. You start to learn that, hey, the things are in sync because God is responding to them just as much as He's responding to you. Thank you so much for subscribing. So I'm awakening to the fact that there is only but one existence, and we just so happen to be somewhat of a hologram of that existence. I am not separate from you. You are not separate from me. We are one. And again, just say we're sitting here right now, right? And we just had a whole synchronicity type of experience where, um, thank you. Uh, yes. Thank you. Wait, is this a tilapia? No, that's y'all. I think that's y'all. Y'all hold tight. Getting our order ready. Hand it to us. Here, no, thank you. Well, I appreciate that very much. Thank you. It's Mexican, y'all. We doing Mexican today. All right, so y'all gonna have to forgive me. I don't remember what I was saying before the waiter came to give us our food, but let me just say, when you truly get to the point where you are awakening the love self within you, you are going to recognize that it is not all about you as an individual person, and that synchronicities. That's what I was talking about. We're sitting here in synchronicities. So the young lady behind us, Dr. Taisha, ended up giving her a book or blessing her with a book. Now, many of you have followed my ministry for a very long time. This ain't new. All right. It's okay if that's what God wants you to do, you're going to be in place to be able to do it. But why is that? Why were we here in this moment in time? Why everything that led up into the situation, why all of the different moments or the hesitations or the timing, right? Would they have been here if we had gotten here before that moment? Would we have been seated in the same position in the same spot where we heard a certain word being spoken by this woman in her conversation, and it initiated something? Yes. It initiated something in Taisha that made her get up, go get a book, hand it to this lady. How do we know what's in that book that's going to give her a different perception of life? She's a first-time parent. How do we know what it is that the petition of her heart is? Remember, God is love, and love responds to itself. That moment wasn't about the fact that um, uh, somebody published a book. She curated it. It's an anthology. It's a collection of stories about being an imperfectly perfect parent. This woman is at the beginning of her journey, right? How do we know what this is going to do in her life? So, if you really are ready to awaken the love self within, then what you're going to realize and notice is that, yeah, I might have an agenda, but God's agenda is for absolutely everything and everyone that exists, and no one is excluded. When you begin to awaken that part of yourself, what you're saying is, God, I'm in agreement with being whoever you need to be through me and as me, because love walks among us, as us, for us. So are you ready to show up in the fullness of who you are? Are you ready to allow the source that is God to come alive in you as you, to fulfill a purpose? We were also, before we left the hotel, talking to her beautiful mother, and we're talking about her career and what she's doing and the people that she's meeting, and these moments that pull on you to be something that you may not fully be comfortable being, right? But when you awaken the love self within, you realize that, man, this is not me trying to be me. This is literally God trying to show up for this other individual. So, with whatever capacity that I get to do that, whether it's a hug, whether it's a word of insight, whatever it may be, it is literally God doing it and living it and being it through us. So, when you say yes to that awakening, what you're saying is, God, I own the fact that this is who you are as me and through me. So the question again is, are you really ready for what you ask for? When you ask for that career, when you ask for that marriage, when you ask for that moving opportunity, when you ask for the entrepreneur endeavors or the business that you're trying to start, do you realize that that's just simply God showing up as you, as a divine expression intended to do just that? To every basketball player, every football player, to every restaurant owner, um, to every individual that's trying to figure out, who should I be? That's a question that you're gonna have to come into agreement with, right? Who should I be? I should be me, because that's literally the love self within trying to come alive. So I'm gonna cut it short so I can eat my food. But this is one of those moments where I want you to really take that question into consideration. Ask yourself, am I ready for what I asked for? That's gonna come with a name change. It may be in your title. It may be in the realization that, man, I'm a whole artist now. Whatever it is, when you make that under that agreement, or you come into the fullness of that understanding, then the only thing you're saying is, God, come alive in me. Love, come alive as me. So you got to know if you're ready or not, because the process will sure enough happen after you come into agreement. So I love y'all so much just because I can. And we're going to get into it. Join us on Thursday for our Love Walk Chat, Prophetic Flow. But next Sunday, when we start our next conversation, I think we're about to end this particular series, but when we start our next conversation, then we're about to dig into deeper, in a deeper way, into some of those questions, like, what if God is all of us? That would make this conversation today seem a little bit easier to understand if we explain that. So get into it. Make sure you share. Make sure you ask this question of somebody today. You asked for that thing. You said this what you want. Are you ready to fully awaken that love self within? All right. Many blessings. I love you. Just because I can't talk to y'all.